object in APTO to all of the owners related to that property. So for example, I'm in this organization that has a bunch of properties, and some of those properties have owners, some of them don't, and they wanted to be able to select all of these properties based off the filters they've created and initiate a dial session to the owners, the contacts related to these properties. So all of the owners that have been linked to these properties. So we created this button here that allows you to initiate an all owner dial session. It'll look at those properties and grab all of the contacts that are linked to the owners that are in turn linked to those properties. So let me show you how this was done. So if we jump over here to setup, the first thing we needed to do is we needed to set up a sandbox, because you can't add custom Apex code directly to production. So we went in here, we went to the quick find, went to sandboxes, and we created a sandbox. So hopefully you already understand how to do that. That's not my job to teach you how to create sandboxes or anything like that, but I just want to kind of walk you through that. So we created that sandbox, and then we logged into that sandbox to create all the code. So there's a few pieces of code that we need to create in order to facilitate this. So we're going to jump over to setup in the sandbox. In the sandbox, we're going to go to, let's try that again, Apex, and we're going to go to Apex classes. And then of course you would click on new, but we've already created those, so let me show you those. I'm going to go and sort this by last modified. And there are two Apex classes that we created. The first one was the actual Apex class that we used to do all of this stuff. And the other one is a test, an Apex test, so that we can actually get this into production. So let me show you, and of course the code is in the training module, so you can grab that and bring it over here. So I'm going to go ahead and edit this. And you'll see this is the code. You're just going to copy and paste the code from the Google Doc that I have in the training module for the property dial session controller. You just copy and paste that in here and save. Once you save that, you'll see it listed on your list of Apex classes. Then, of course, you're going to need the test class. So I'm going to go ahead and edit this just to show you. Again, this should be the code from the other Google Doc, the property dial session control test. I think it's called Apex test class. Whatever it is, it's in the training module. Grab that, copy and paste it in here, and then of course save it. Once you've saved it, you'll see it listed here on your list of Apex classes. So now we should be done with our Apex classes, and we're going to jump over to Visualforce. So I'm going to delete Apex, and we're going to type in Visual for Visualforce. And we are going to create a new Visualforce page. Now I've already created it, so I'm going to just show you it. I'm going to edit the existing one. And I named it AllOwnersDialerStart. So I'd recommend just keeping the same naming convention that I have, just so that you know that there's not going to be an issue because you changed the name or anything. But that's what I named it. And then of course you're just going to grab the code that I have in the Visualforce document. So just grab that code, copy, paste, and once you've done that, save. Once you save it, you're going to see that Visualforce page on your list of Visualforce pages. You may need to adjust security, but of course if you're logged in as an admin, as a system admin, that's going to be fine. You're not going to necessarily need to adjust this, but just so you know, you may need to adjust the system security. So now that we've got the Apex and we've got the Visualforce, now we need to jump over to our object manager. We need to go to property, to our property object. Go into the property object. We're going to go to button, links, and actions. We're going to create a new button. But again, I've already created it, so I'm not going to create a new button. I'm just going to show you the button that I've created. I'm going to name the button. And again, you can name it whatever you want, but to keep things simple, you could follow the same name that I put in there so that you know you're doing everything right. So I've got the label, the name. It's going to be a list button. I'm going to display checkboxes, and I'm going to make sure this is display in existing window without sidebar or header. It's going to be a Visualforce, or we're looking for Visualforce page for the content source, and we're going to choose our AllOwnersDialerStart Visualforce page that we just created. And then of course we're going to save that. Once we save it, we're going to click on Search Layouts. We're going to go to the default layout, we're going to edit that, and we're going to make sure that the button is added here. So it will be on the left side. We need to add it to the right side and save. We need to do the same thing in List View Button Layout. So we're going to edit. You'll see it on the left-hand side. You need to add it to the right, save. Once you do that, once you've saved that, you should now see this button in whenever you're looking at a list view in the properties object. Now, of course, you're going to need contacts and properties and ownership records that are all created in your sandbox. So you're going to need to create all of that content. If you need some sample contacts, you can pull those down from the PhoneBurner Quick Start training. We have some sample contacts that you can use for, typically we have people use that to test importing into PhoneBurner, but of course you could use that data to import into your sandbox if you don't have some sample data that you want to use. So anyway, once you've got some sample data in there, you've got all those contacts and properties created and the owners linked to the properties, then you can test this. You'll be able to select all the properties and begin the dial session. So I can click on the All Owner Dial session. Now, of course, I haven't created owners for all of those properties. I've only done a few of them just to test it. So you'll see that only 5 of those properties actually it's not even 5 properties. I forget. It might be 4 properties and 5 contacts set up as owners. So anyway, it doesn't really matter. You should be able to test doing a dial session at that point. Now make sure that you have configured your PhoneBurner account to work in sandbox mode. There is a training on that. Hopefully you've already looked at how to test PhoneBurner in sandbox, but I do have a training. It's simple for you to do that. In fact, let me just show you that real quick. Jump over here. So in my PhoneBurner account, I would go to integration. Under integration, I'm going to click on Salesforce, and on Salesforce, I'm going to make sure that I'm enabled for Sandbox. Now, obviously, I don't have that set up on this account because I've switched over to testing and production. So you'll want that set to yes and save settings. Then you'll be able to do your dial session. Oh, wrong one. You'll be able to do your dial session from here, from your sandbox to confirm everything works. Once you've done some tests and you're happy and confirmed that everything's working, you're actually going to need to run that test class in the developer console. So you click on developer console. You'll go here to test, go to new run, choose our test class. Check this box, check this, hit run. And as long as you copied everything over, it should successfully pass and you should be good to go. So we're going to go ahead and close this. Now we need to push this to production. So we need to go into our setup. We're going to go back to setup home. We're going to delete all that, and I think it's outbound. Yeah, outbound change sets. And you're going to create a new outbound change set. Here I've already got one, so you're going to edit. So once you create it, you give it a name. Once you've created it, then you're going to have the option to add all the components. There are 4 components that you should be adding here. One is the button and link, so you'll click on add. For example, we need to add Apex classes. We don't have any that we can add because I've already added them, but Apex classes, button links and button or link. Now I've already added this as well, and then our Visualforce page. So as you add these things, you're going to click on Add to Change Set, and you're going to see them listed here, as you see here. You can also add the profiles by clicking Add Profile, selecting all the profiles, and Add to Change Set. Now, of course, I've already added them. So once you've done that, then you can upload this. Once you upload it, it will be available in your inbound change set. Now I'm not pushing this again, so it would be sitting here in my change sets awaiting deployment, but I've already done it. We're happy with it here, so I'm not going to send it through again. But you would validate it, and then you would deploy it, and you'd get feedback from Salesforce letting you know if you did or didn't succeed in doing that. Again, if you copy and paste everything and follow the directions, you should have no issues. But of course, if you are running into issues, you may want to consult your Salesforce admin, or if you are working with an implementation team, you'll want to consult with them to see if they can help you solve any issues that you're running into. So hope this helps. I wish you the best and happy dialing. Bye for now.